YouTube, my name is rhianaB and welcome back to my review of Survivor Game Changers. Now, yet again, a lot of drama, some chaos, but we had a lot of big things that happened in this episode, so let's get to it. So the first real big thing that happened in the episode was when Ty found not just one, but he's found two hidden immunity idols. I would honestly say that he's right up there with Russell Hantz with how many idols have been found. No, is it Russell or is it Tony? I don't exactly remember, but he's up there now. He finds idols so fast. It's like, it's crazy. It was like the same thing like when Tony and when Russell in their seasons would just find idols like willy-nilly because they actually went out and looked. So Ty, following that lead, has now found two idols. So that puts him in a really big power position. But we're gonna get to in a second about why that power position's kind of gone down a bit for him. So we knew from last week's episode in the preview that there was gonna be another, either a tribe swap or maybe I mentioned a merge, but it ended up being another tribe swap. So now, I'm gonna read through my list here. So on the new Mana tribe, we have Troyzan, Cirie, Michaela, Sierra, Haley, Aubrey, and Brad. And then the new Nuku, we have Sandra, Sarah, Jeff, Andrea, Ty, Zeke, and Ozzy. And you may be asking yourself, where's Debbie? Where does Debbie fit in all this? Well, she didn't actually get a buff, and she goes to Exile Island. So that means that she's separate from both tribes, which honestly, in her case, kind of is a 50-50 thing because she was really pissed at Brad Culpepper last episode, as we discussed. But the thing is, with the possibility of new tribes, she's gonna need to get to know more people outside of the alliance she's been with for quite a while now. So this could be something that could help her, but maybe not. But we're gonna have to see in future episodes to figure out how that worked. Thing is though, Debbie did not just go to a regular, past season Exile Island. She went to the ship, which I believe was from the first episode. If not, it was a different ship, but it looked very similar. She went to a ship, and there was food, there was a hammock. It was like a cruise for her. Like, literally, it's just herself on this ship with tons of food. She's gonna be filled, she's gonna be relaxed, especially after the madness that happened in last episode. So, honestly, I kind of don't feel that bad for her. But the biggest thing that happened on Exile, freaking Cochran, winner of Survivor Caramoan, came back. Like, what? So I mentioned in last episode, I thought how they perceived it, or how they showed it, was that it was going to be a returning player coming back. And I thought, oh, it'd be so cool if Caleb, Malcolm, JT, whoever would come back. But no, we did get a returning player, but not one from the season. We ended up having a winner come back. And Cochran comes and talks to Debbie about strategical things. Basically he described as being the Exile guidance, which honestly is kind of a cool thing, but I couldn't help but think, why is Cochran here? Is it just a chance to, show Cochran off? Because this is a game that he's proclaimed to be such an expert at. He's always been known as the Survivor nerd. He's won. So I was a little confused as to why Cochran came back. But I liked Cochran, and I still do, so I'm not too upset that he came back. It was cool to see him. Not only did Cochran come as a Exile guidance sort of a thing, but he even came with an advantage option, which is a huge thing in this game right now. So the advantage options were, number one, a fake idol making kit, kind of going back with Yao Man and Bob from Gabon on their little fake idol tricks. Number two is an extra vote. And then number three, it's a tribe challenge advantage. Now, obviously, and I think most of us would agree, out of the three, first thing you would pick, and the one that Debbie did end up picking, was the extra vote. Because if you play that at a really good time, like anytime during Tribal, that can change and flip the game like that. So that was smart on Debbie to do that. But my question is, are we gonna have another person go to Exile, have Cochran or some other winner come back, and then have who's ever at the Exile cruise, let's just call it that, and then introduce to them the two remaining advantages? Because that would be a really cool thing to have all these advantages, because we do have I think Sierra still has like that advantage that she had from the very first episode. I think she still has that. Ty has 2 idols, and now Debbie has an extra vote. So now we could have the possibility of some other players having either the fake idol making kit or having that tribal challenge advantage. So that'd be kind of cool if we had all these advantages floating around, because that can completely change anything. So we're gonna have to wait and see on that. Another thing I noticed on the new Mana tribe, we saw Brad basically being the high alpha back at his old camp, but now that he's with all these new people, the only ally he has now is Sierra. So that basically means that his game is going to kind of need to evolve, and the first thing he does, he goes straight to Troyzan, the only other guy on the tribe. Troyzan himself is a little hesitant about working with Brad, but honestly Troyzan has a lot more option now. He was on the bottom of the alliance back at Tavuya, so now he can kind of play with people and see if he can fit into some cracks. So Troyzan has a lot of wiggle room to work with here. Brad, he's gonna need to work a little harder at this, but I'm not entirely worried, but he's got a lot of work to do. And then we saw at the new Nuku camp that Sandra and Jeff are on the bottom, which is kind of obvious, and now Sandra, since she is such a big threat, people are wanting to get her out. But we did see that Zeke kind of wants to keep Jeff Varner around. Honestly, I think for good reason. Jeff could probably be useful to their tribe to maybe get to know other people and all those sort of things. And I would rather have Jeff around. Having Sandra around, that's not smart. So, definitely Jeff, as of now, I think he's in a good position, but hopefully he can work with it and we'll see what happens. Jeff's a really smart guy. I'm not entirely worried about him. Alright, now we move on to the immunity challenge, where Mana has come back alive from the past episode. Mana's been doing really well in challenges. They're gonna start breaking that losing streak they had earlier. So Mana wins, and that sends Nuku to Tribal Council again. So on the chopping block, we have Sandra, Ty, technically Ozzy, but we'll get to that here in a second. So Sandra is trying her best, and to quote Sarah, Sandra is trying to groom every single person on that tribe. She wants to stay, and she's really good at convincing people to lean her way. So she plays a loyalty card. She basically says, you know what, I can be your eyes and your ears. I can help you when you're with the other tribe come merge time. And that's something tempting, but I think in a season like this where everyone knows each other's game pretty well, they are not going to foolishly accept that so easily. And Ozzy said it best. He knows Sandra needs to go, but he does understand the importance of other aspects, like the fact that Debbie, Ty, and Aubrey are all still in the game and they can possibly work together. So that was something she threw out there, and it is a good point. However, I don't know if it's really going to come to fruition. So besides Sandra, we have Ty. Now Ty, as we know, has 2 idols, so you would think he would be in a power position, but like I said earlier, not really going so well for him, because good lord, Ty cannot keep his mouth shut. And that has become a really big problem for him. He basically said in front of Varner, who at this point had believed, along with Sandra, that Ty was going home. That everyone else was wanting to get Ty out, and they thought, oh, this is such a good thing, now we're safe. However, Ty decides to tell Varner and Zeke at the same time that he wants Sandra gone. And that raises a red flag for Sandra and Jeff. And, you know, this would have been such a straightforward tribal council had he not said anything. But he got worried and he let his mouth run, and it kind of set the ball rolling, as we shall say. So at tribal council, Sandra again is trying to play the sap card and say, oh, you know, I'm going home, I've had a wonderful 16 days, yada yada yada, trying to play it off as, oh, I'm going home. And then again, Ty opens his mouth and he says, you know, I'm unsure, I don't trust a lot of people and what they're thinking right now, da 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 da. I may be reading into that a lot more than I should, but that's kind of the vibe I got. And it even gets to the chaos point where Sandra says to Ty, who's sitting right next to her, saying, you know what, give me a name. Give me a name if anybody else, as long as it's not me, and I'll vote with you. And Ty, being kind of not right in the head right now as far as strategic gameplay is concerned, he whispers to Sandra that he wants Ozzy gone. And that kind of like rose a red flag for me because I like Ozzy. I don't think he's gonna win, but I still like Ozzy a lot. And that kind of just like, whoa, where did Ozzy come from? Hello. And then he whispers to Varner, and things are just going crazy. People are talking all over again. People are unsure. Another chaotic, not as chaotic, but nonetheless a chaotic tribal council. So, and then Zeke makes a good point when he asks Ty, who do you trust? And he's like, I'm not, and Ty's kind of defending himself, going like, I'm not saying anything, and I don't mean to do this. I'm just being truthful. And the thing is, in a game like this, being truthful can really, it's just not good. You need to be, I don't know, it's like you can be truthful, but you need to hide it better, or make it seem like it's not throwing people under the bus, I would say. So basically everyone on his alliance at this point are really confused, well, not in his alliance. So basically everyone is kind of like, they don't know what to do, and smartly, they resorted to their original plan. So Jeff and Sandra vote for Ty, and even though Ty doesn't play his hidden immunity idol, which was smart for him, it ended up being the original plan was a go, and the queen had been dethroned. Sandra was voted off. So it's still kind of crazy to think that Sandra is now gone. This is the first time, and I think when Jeff Probst said, in like 94, 96, I think it was 94 days of Survivor that she's played, that this is the first time that she's ever had her torch snuffed. And that's so crazy to think about. And you know what? I even gave her an applause because she is a really good player at this game. So it was sad to see her go, but you know what? In a season like this, big threats need to go. And Sandra, I thought she should have been gone a long time ago, before Malcolm, before JT, but you know what? She was pretty instrumental in a lot of those votes, so kudos for her. Okay, so predictions for next week. We did get a few clips of things going a little crazy yet again. Like, honestly, what episode this season isn't going to be crazy, at least some degree. But Mana, we saw, had a little bit of a breakdown, so that could mean we could have maybe letters from home. Maybe stress is getting to people. I have no idea. I mean, I think it was Aubrey as a voiceover that said, this game was, never ending, never changing, yada, yada, yada. So I think it's leaning towards stress of the game right now, or something has gone really, really wrong. But again, we'll have to wait till next episode. And then the Nuku Alliance is starting to kind of fall apart a little bit, because now, people are fighting, and Jeff, being a great social player and a good player that he is, he's going to take advantage of that, and he's going to flip it. And they even said, I already forgot who said it. Maybe it was Sarah, maybe it was Andrea, I don't exactly remember. But a woman on the Nuku tribe, said that they want to get rid of Ozzy. So Ozzy may be in some trouble next week, but hopefully they don't go to tribal council, and maybe Ozzy can be saved yet again. So we'll have to wait and see. So my vote off predictions. So things are kind of up in the air right now. And we don't know that much about tribe dynamics as of yet, since we're just forming new tribes again, but I'll do my best. So if Nuku goes back to tribal council, I think Ty, and I have been saying Ty a lot recently, but I think after tonight, Ty has an even bigger target on his back. He definitely has been known to find idols, he's very sneaky, and now he's kind of shown he's a little bit of a loose cannon, and he can be loyal, but the thing is, does loyalty overpower having an open mouth? That's something that they're gonna have to think about. So Ty is definitely up there, and obviously because of the preview for next week, Ozzy may be up there, but my best guess, Ty may be up there a little higher. So we'll see if he ends up playing both of his idols, or if he's gonna end up being like James from China and have two idols in his pocket and then go home. And then if Mana goes to tribal, I think, and I've been saying this, I think every single vote off prediction, I've been saying Suri, but Suri is still a big threat. So unless she's got a good alliance going for her, I think she may be in trouble because she is a big threat. She actually may be one of the bigger threats right after Sandra. I would assume. I could be wrong because everyone in this game is a threat right now, but I think Suri was like right underneath Sandra. She is way too good and she can't get too far, or she's gonna take it all the way. Alright guys, I think that's all I've got for this episode of Survivor Game Changers. Things are definitely getting crazier and crazier with every single episode, but we're gonna have to wait and see how crazier it's gonna get. So if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me comments down below, tell me about your thoughts about this week's episode, who do you think is going home next, all those things. And if you want to see my future videos or videos I've already done, go ahead and hit subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you can be notified when my videos come out. That's all I have for you guys today. Until the next video, bye! Mwah.